Good morning. It is such a beautiful day and we have so much to be thankful for. Today is a day and a half since I made the video on on the first step of making my perfect Irish moss gel. But before we get into actually making the gel, I want to show you all what my Irish moss looked like and how much it has expanded since the beginning of the first video. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like. Smells really, really, really good. Alright, so I'm just going to use a tongue. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So this is it. I am not going to use all this water. I'm going to use some of it to make my gel. And the remaining of the water, you can pour it off if you choose to. Or you can save it to do something else with it. One of the things I like to do with the water is that, like, instead of like throwing off or pouring off, rather the excess water, I like to, like strain it to make sure all the debris and stuff is out of it. Add a little bit of honey to it and bottle it up, and I have Irish moss water to drink. So let's get into making this Irish moss gel that I'm also excited about, and I'm sure you will too. Alright guys, so I'm going to add some of my Irish moss into my blender. I'm going to add some of my water. The thing about the water is you can use distilled water if you have a distiller at home, or you can use bottled distilled water. It depends on what your preference is. If you do use bottled distilled water, you want to make sure the distilled water is in a glass jar or it is in a PBA-free plastic container. And I'm just going to start blending my Irish moss. So this is my Irish moss gel, and this is how I make it perfect every time. I'm going to put this in a glass jar. Let's use this. And you want to put that in a glass jar. And after that, you want to make sure that you refrigerate this. And I'm just going to keep doing the exact same thing with the rest of my Irish moss until it is all blended. So you want to make sure when you blend, you do your gel in increments, because you want to know how much water to use. If you use way too much water, you have gone way too far. And your Irish moss gel is going to be very, very, very watery. so this is the last of my gel. All the same consistency, all look the same. There's no bumps, there's absolutely no runniness to it. It's just really nice and thick. So that's exactly what you're looking for. This is exactly how I make my perfect Irish moss gel every single time. Not too much water. And like I said, if you've added way too much water, you have gone way too far, because it's very critical. You know, the water to Irish moss content, you want to do it in increments and add your water little by little if you're not too sure how much to add, until you have that really nice, smooth, rich consistency. However, when it comes to a blender, you want to be careful with that, because the motor of the blade on the inside is going to get heated up by the motor of the blender or the NutriBullet whatever it is that you're using. Just be careful with that, because you do not want to heat your gel product at all, because you're actually, once it's heated, you're killing all those enzymes that you want to do the work in the body and to, you know, like be a lot more sustainable inside the body. All right, so this is what my Seamoss / Irish moss gel looks like. It is perfect, okay? Again, no lumps, no runniness, no wateriness, no nothing. So Seamoss gel can store it up in the refrigerator for about a month. You can leave it in the freezer for about 3 to 4 months. If you love Seamoss as much as I do, you're probably going to go through this in a week, okay? So Seamoss has 92 of 102 minerals that our body needs. It is great for weight loss. It rids the body of mucus. It helps with thyroid function. It is high in vitamins like A, D, E, C, K, just to name a few. It is very high in calcium. It helps with digestions. And the most important thing that it helps with is weight loss. You can hear my cat in the back. It's weight loss. I went through, it's not a phase, but I had a lot of Irish moss in my diet last year, and I lost a lot of pounds with it. And Irish moss is no lie, it is no joke. If you haven't started with it, you want to get started with it. Okay, so that's what it is. You can check out my recipe and let me know what you guys think about it. It is very important to date your stuff, especially like things that you make at home, because that way you have a much better idea when it was made. So today's the 8th. All right. So again, this shouldn't go no more than 3 to 4 months in the freezer. You could do 1.5 months to stretch it a bit if fresh in the refrigerator. So enjoy your Seamoss and share your stories. You know, stay tuned for some of the stuff that I'm going to be making with my gel. I have a lot of recipes coming. I'm going to be doing a lot of juicing recipes with it. Oh, and one other important thing too, I made my Seamoss gel without any flavoring in it. You can make it with flavoring if you choose to. Being that I'm using mine for a lot of things, I made it a universal type of Seamoss. If you want, you could add vanilla to it. You can add certain things to it, but you know, be warned, the more you add to it, the less shelf life it is going to have. Because a lot of the ingredients that you might put into it might have a shorter shelf life, and with it having shorter shelf life, it's going to, the shelf life of your Seamoss the shelf life of your Seamoss is going to take the shelf life of whatever ingredient you put into it. So you want to be careful with that. So making a universal moss gel and use it whenever you need it is a much better way to go versus adding all these other ingredients to it. All right, so this is it on my Seamoss gel, okay? So stay tuned for a lot of recipes that I'm going to be making with my gel. Again, it could stay in the refrigerator for about a month and a half to push it. You can also, it would also stay in the freezer for about 3 to 4 months. Okay, so if you're not going to use it as much, you want to freeze the remaining content, but you don't want to freeze in glass. Okay, because whatever it is that's in glass will expand and it will crack. But if you're going to add it to a plastic container, you want to add it to a PDA-free container, all right? And you want to make sure your containers are airtight, so it keeps the freshness of your gel. And yeah, so stay tuned for that. I am super excited, all right? So I just can't wait to show you guys all the wonderful recipes that I'm going to be making with it. This is going to be in a lot of juicing. A lot of juicing. All right, so yeah. Irish moss, Irish moss, Irish moss. So there you have it. Perfect Irish moss every single time. Never miss a beat. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And be sure to try it. And if you haven't already gotten a hook to Seamoss, you're missing out. You need to start, all right? Because you are going to get hooked. And my boob is all over the place. Boobs, actually. So, yeah, you are missing out if you haven't tried Seamoss as of yet. I've listed a lot of stuff that Seamoss is good in. One other thing too that I didn't mention is that Seamoss is great for a lot of people that are vegan or vegetarian, but mostly vegan. Okay, so if you haven't, please try it. A lot of raw ingredients, a lot of raw recipes can be made from something as simple as Seamoss, not in the gel, but in the very whole form. If you want to make like dressings and stuff like that, you can do that. I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite. It is infused with a lot of goodness. One of my favorite vinaigrettes that I love to make with Irish moss gel. And I'm also going to share with you guys one of my favorite salad recipes with the whole Seamoss. So yeah, again, stay tuned and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Bye.